Howdy y'all, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Merry Christmas, it's Christmas Eve 2022. And today we are going to be looking at the work of these two individuals.
As I did these things would somehow liberate me to higher and higher stages. And so I attacked my dad with a hammer. I left him for dead. I was put in a psychiatric hospital where then concluded that I'm a sociopath.
Martin Hengel is dead. So I do think he recognizes the Trinity now.
Sorry to stop it so soon, but anybody that calls themselves an apologetic or apologetics has no respect for me, as that is simply one of those household terms coined by the deep state, NWO, Zionist elitist that basically propagate everything. So that's that. The other thing, they are claiming that the Holy Quran is incomplete. What do they care? They're not Muslims. What do they care?
David, what are you doing? Those aren't Qurans, are they?
No.
You're not going to burn these books, are you?
Well, the thought had crossed my mind.
So the beginning scene is one that insinuates igniting a fire with firewood and the two sticks, insinuating that he's going to burn the books next to him, despite them not being the Holy Quran, and he tells you they're not, which is at least truthful, but in a sly way, because the title of the episode on this disgusting channel is basically stating that that's what they're doing to the holy book.
No! Don't burn these books. Books are filled with valuable information. Here, let me randomly pick one and open to a random page.
We used to recite a surah which resembled in length and severity to Surah Barat. I have, however, forgotten it, with the exception of this, which I remember out of it. If there were two valleys full of riches for the son of Adam, he would long for a third valley.
So he opens up one of those books of reports. The one that he opens allegedly reports that the Holy Quran is missing 2 chapters or 2 surahs. And he takes that and basically says, oh, I found a flaw. But it's not really a flaw, because if he deems the book a fabrication from the beginning, what does he care if it's missing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 surahs? Like, it's irrelevant. In terms of believers, I personally do not equate any literature of any kind to the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran is the single, only, impeccable, free of flaws Word of God for Allah Almighty verbatim. So anybody can write a book of reports or have reports of reports. They can say whatever they want under the sun. It makes no difference that the Holy Quran, as it exists, is the Word of God Almighty.
And nothing would fill the stomach of the son of Adam but dust.
Speaking of dead and belly filling, ironically, after several years after this, the individual, Nabil, he gets stomach cancer, and they have to remove his stomach inexplicably, swiftly. Nobody has any answers. People in Islam, perhaps we have our conclusions, but we stay respectfully quiet, and we can see Nabil's last words here.
Hi everyone, this is Nabil. I've been thinking about some things I wanted to discuss briefly that I've never really had an opportunity to discuss. I think it's very important that we discuss matters of truth by love and by peace. We should do it through a lens of love.
Some may be wondering, why am I showing that? Well, really the main reason is with hope that his partner, the David Wood character, listens to these words and acts on them and stops being hateful against Islam, stops having all this horrible Islamophobic content on his channel, the same channel that the Nabil character was a part of. So he has these words, which are the perfect words that anybody would choose to speak. Now, just because you speak words doesn't mean you mean them. in his instance, it doesn't seem like he even means them. It seems like he's just speaking because he feels like he has to. Like he's saying these words because he feels like he has to. Why didn't he act on these words when he made fun of the author who had passed away with Dr. Shabir? Like he mocked a dead man and he got applauded and he grinned. Like why didn't he act like that? So the other thing, I see fear in his eyes. You can tell he's trembling. His face is gloomy. He is trembling in fear. It's like one can just perceive that he perceives that he has an account. Make of that what you want. And when I talk about looking at people who I know that do magic in my jinn video on this channel, that is the exact look I'm talking about. A look of just being petrified in fear that they know they've done something, that they know there's a price to pay. At least that's what I perceive. I could be totally wrong. So with that said, I do know that the Holy Quran says this about people who come to know Islam and then they sell it for a cheap price.
Allahu Akbar.